Dang, why I got these headphones on for right now? Oh, because I just like them. I don't know. I just like the headphones, but oh dang, let me make sure all this is right. Okay, yeah, test. We Gucci. Good. We good, man. I'm just came in to basically just talk a little bit. You feel me? See what everybody, where everybody at, how everybody doing, what it is. Cause I don't, I don't too much come and talk. But I come and talk though. But this is gonna be one of them times I'm gonna just kind of, yeah. We do need a Wally episode. The way Wally work is set up, we barely kind of catch each other. Cause through the day he be sleep, and at night he be woke, and he on the other side. You feel me? He on the other side. So I don't, we'll get one soon, hopefully. We'll get one soon. As soon as he can, he gonna chime in. But what's up with it, Hugo? What's up with it, Charles the Awaken? Yeah, man. I'm just kind of just relaxing, chilling. You feel me? I came to just chop it up for a minute, see if just do some Q&As, cause I be letting it just kind of go on Discord to where we just be kind of chopping it up on Discord, and it's just one of them times I'm just like, let me sit back and just do a Q&A and see how that work out, because I let everybody talk, and I kind of like that. I think I like to do that because I like everybody to be able to come here and share their experiences, because we talk about, what we talk about, but I want everybody to be able to come here. What's up with it, Dwayne? Yeah, I want everybody to be able to come here and share their experiences and have an open platform to where I'm not the only one always speaking. But it was some things that just happened in my last experience that I was like, dang, it kind of had me looking into stuff. It had me looking into, different ways that the brain works, and the way the brain takes control, and it has us do this and do that and do all these different things, bro. Because if you watched that last experience, for the ones that actually went and watched it and seen how I started off as this little organism that began to grow and split itself into becoming like a human, bro. Like, I didn't know at the time. I didn't really know what I was seeing. I'm just seeing it, and it made me just look at life differently. It made me kind of look at the way life mirrors itself. You feel me? Like, in the different, like, the United States, the countries, and the different things. It's like how it mirrors itself, and it play different roles. And we be looking at the role like it's just like it's nothing, but it's mimicking the same thing. Everything we come up with and we put out in the world is coming from the inside of us, and it's coming from the way we were structured ourselves. Like, that's the trippy part, because I started off as this little organism that grew, and then it split and it split and it split, and it made this body. And then it started to, the brain started to form, and like, once the brain formed, it grew some legs, like it looked like some king crab legs, and it started to kind of crawl around off these legs. And I was like wondering, like, I was tripping off that, because like, I'm going like how, that don't make sense. But then when I went and I start looking up certain stuff, you see that, when the embryo, that's what happens. The two organisms, they come together, and once they combine, the organism, the sperm with the whatever that is inside the embryo, we be like the nuclei or whatever it is. Once it forms, that's what it do. It starts to grow, and it splits to two, and it splits into four, and so on, until it grows this body. And then the brain is not formed until like 5 weeks later. Now, you got to understand, this is what I was tripping off of, because what I was seeing was, once the brain came into play and it was able to, start to do this thinking thing, or it started to basically take control of everything. It started to take control of the rest of the body, to where the brain was in control. Everything had to go through the brain for it to happen. But before that, it was no brain. The brain didn't exist, because I think I was more thinking about consciousness. Like in the experience, me being shown consciousness, it's like that thing didn't come till later, till when the brain became president and started to take over. That's why you see a lot of stuff that we around, it came from the inside of us. Your whole house, everything within your house, it came from the inside of us, bringing it out and making it and forming it. Basically, like I call it like alchemy. It's like literally alchemy to me, like the brain forming all these different things, which is something that I always kind of see on my experiences. I always see like this black goo, which I want to call consciousness, or you know, just the mind itself within the mind, and it starts to, you know, it be like goo, but then it can take any form. It can take the form of whatever. Like the crazy thing is, the ideas, it's taking these forms too. It's taking the form of religious beliefs. It's taking the form of mathematics. It's taking all the different forms. And it's like, dang, bro, it was like tripping me out. And then they started to get into where they were talking about that space that I was talking about, the space in between, where thought even becomes a thing. It's a spot in between there where it seems like we have all the information ever created within life, from people, from what's up with it, Corey P? We have all these different things in between that space, and that space is infinite to where anything can reside in that space. So that's the part that's kind of getting to me, that I'm going, dang, I gotta do further research. Even though I was shown these things, I would like to see it being said from like a neuroscientist, or, you know, I would like to see it being said by somebody. And like everything that I seen on that journey, that's what I went back and did. I looked it up and I seen people talking about it, and talking about, you know, the activity of the brain, and, you know, and how the brain does take sides. To me, that's what I feel like. It played different sides. It played a role. It played every role. And the brain is putting on this persona. So I'm like still stuck in that part of, is the brain the thing that creates consciousness? Because when I was talking to somebody about this, I was thinking about electricity and the way the electricity comes into your house. Because even though that the electricity can control your monitor, and control your computer, and control your phone, and control your TV, and all these different things within your house, the electricity doesn't know that it's doing this thing. It just exists. It's just a power source. It's energy. It doesn't know that it's showing me right now on here talking to you. The electricity doesn't know that it's doing this. So when that thing that I'm talking about, when it starts to take different forms of animals, of plants, of whatever it takes form of, I don't think it knows that it's taking these forms, because later on within the experience, that's what I seen the brain do. The brain recognized that it was alive. It had that like boom, like it just got to one point and it just understood, and it started to look at itself, and it started to kind of name everything and try to figure out certain things or what things was, because it was consciousness. So once it got consciously aware of itself, that's when it like went into action of coming up with all these ideas, and it makes me further think about like life after death, like we came up, the brain, this is the brain doing all this, coming up with all these different ideas of life, what life is, what life will be, where life is going. And just think, over time, what the brain did was it just re-evolved everything that it already had came up with. It just kept on shaping it, kept on breaking it down and reshaping it in every which way, to where it kind of, bro, it's like trippy. It's trippy. It's like the brain is trippy. I felt like the brain was like the deceiver almost. Even though it's like the truth teller and it's all these other things, it's also like the deceiver. because the brain can easily deceive us into believing things. It can make up realities. It can make up anything. There's no limit to what it can do, to what it can create, to what it can take away. And it's like it makes us easier to go out and just believe anything that's happening. We don't gotta see it, and even if we do see it, we don't gotta believe it. It's like the brain is like doing all these different things, bro. That's just like, to me now, it's like, golly. It's like soon as you begin to think, that's when it begin to create. It began to create things. It began to disguise itself to be all these other things and make you pay attention to all these other things. And like, it's trippy. And it's like, is that why people meditate? You feel me? They try to turn it off. And it's like, why would you, like, I don't want to turn it off. I want it to keep doing what it's doing, but I don't really want to but I do want to get lost in it. Because I was going to say I don't want to get lost in it, but I think us as humans, we do want to get lost in it. We want to believe whatever it is that is in front of our face or what's coming through our ears. We want the brain to shape our reality and help us make life and make life what it is. It's like, it's kind of crazy because, you know, we got ones like us that go around talking about peace and all, and then you got a whole nother side that's ready to commit war, to destroy people behind trying to make what we would call peace. Yep, the original D boy. It can give you whatever you want. Yeah. Whatever you want, the brain can give it to you. It's gonna make it possible for you to be it and to see it. I said that is crazy though, Rob. That is crazy because the brain does all that, and I think we do because it's like when you go so far into these experiences, you start seeing that you always knew what you was doing. Like every step of the way, every step you took in life, you knew exactly what you was doing. Even when you came across other entities, other people, you feel me? You either followed them or you didn't follow them. Like it's man, I always say it's like this game, like life is like this chessboard. And then as you go, you be the one having to put the chess pieces in the flow and putting them into place to where you kind of make the king that you want, or a president or whoever, the one that you look up to, a father figure or a God figure or whatever, that you put that person in place and you say that person is giving you the things that you need. It's like even your female, your girl, your kids, you put everybody in place like you playing this chess game, and you put these words on them or these ideas on them in order to further your life. You feel me? And it's like, it's kind of trippy, bro. It's kind of trippy because when you see that we do that, you see what we created over time. How all our ideas evolved into what they are now, which is the wow part. Because if you go, any idea that's popping right now or that's doing anything, it started off somewhere. You feel me? Like we can even say the different religions. They started off from one religion that had a belief system that said, oh, this is God. When the weather come and the thunder get loud, that's God being angry. That's so everybody got to be scared. Because God control everything. But it's like, wow, because it's all the time, it's been us as men saying this. It's been men saying this, man. And it didn't matter what part of the planet you went to, everybody disguised that thing as something else. Everybody had a different name for it, and they put it out there. That's why I think I'm more like I love consciousness. I love being into these certain things, but I'm looking at life as all being the illusion, because all these things become a drug to the person, the persona that you put on. All these things become that drug to you. And then for a minute, it'll be fun because, you know, you just getting into it and, you know, you learning all these things and you seeing all these things. And then after a while, it's like, dang, man, it kind of died down. It's almost like a dope song or something. But this is the part of life. This is the trippy part, is that it's a part of life. This is what we do with life. We shine, we walk around with our flashlight and we shine our light on something, and then we make it bigger than what it is because we the ones doing all the creating. We the ones gonna make that thing bigger than what it is. It don't matter what it is. You feel me? If it's a good energy drink, if it's a good candy, if it's some bomb bud, it don't matter what it is. We're gonna put that thing on it, and then we gonna accept it, and we gonna run with it, and we gonna make it a part of our life. It could be a female, it could be a car, it could be a house. It don't matter, bro. It's like we have the power to do all these things and make these things what we want them to do, because these things might not even be anything. It might not, because to that person over there, it's nothing. It's nothing. But to us, that's why you see people get mad about they religion if you say something about their religion, because they done made it something that's so strong that they gonna use it as a sword to battle you. So if you say something about it, they not trying to really hear that. It's like, it's almost like you become that evil person in their life, and it's like it's kind of crazy, bro, because you can just, like, from diving in so much, you can see how we built this reality. And then I'm not saying, when I say the reality, I'm talking about the reality in our minds, the way we look at life, the way we understand life, the way we go about life. We can see how we let the mind take control of this life thing and make it into its own thing. We took from it and we made our own reality. And it's like weird, because when we talk about realities, it's only happening up here. It's not happening on the outside. We're not making the outside presence is being whatever it is. It's this thing up here that's controlling it all and going, look at this. This is what it is. This is something different. Yeah, and that's just kind of wild to me. It's wild to think about. That's why I, like, even now, bro, that's why I just been kind of just doing. I just been doing life, because it's like, why not just do life? You'll get caught up. Yeah, you'll get caught up in the construct of things. Exactly. You'll get caught up in that, and then you'll start living in that, and then that won't. Now, I'm not saying that's not part of life, because everybody can choose how they want to live or what they want to do. But with them choices, you see a lot of us is making bad choices about life. You feel me? And then it's kind of crazy, because we start playing parts and we start playing these different personas of certain people. And then you have this, you have people going against other ones. You have us going to race. We going against each other in these raceways and having these race wars. We going against each other in countries. We fighting over land that, you feel me, that is everybody's. We fighting over everything. It's like, it's kind of weird right there. I think that's like the weird part of life, is when you get caught up in that part of life right there. Because that thing right there, you don't be yourself no more. That thing, you become that thing now. So it's like hard to be you. See what you say, Chris? You say, I know that, I don't know. Yeah, that's one thing I'm going to tell you, bro. I don't know anything. That's one part that you begin to slide up under, is the not knowing. And people think just because they don't know, they think it's something wrong with that, because everybody who feel like they got the knowledge of what's going on, they tell people, man, you stupid if you don't know this. You ain't got no sense if you ain't went and learned this. So it's like the stuff make you feel stupid because you don't know it. And it's like, bro, it's impossible to know everything. You feel me? It's impossible. Like, we only get 5% of what they did in the past. We don't get all of that. We'll get one person telling the story about a million other people. And then we'll take that and we'll run with it and say, this is what the world was like back then. No, that's a part of it. That's a small part of it. The part's so small that you can't really get nothing from it. You can't get nothing. This is one person telling the life of many. And everybody ain't there to go, well, today this is what happened to me. Everybody ain't there to just feed the whole story out like that. Some want to remain passive and have it all, even blame it to the God's will. Jesus, take the wheel. A lot of people don't want responsibility of having self-control. Yeah, that's the part that gets me all the time. Is like a lot of people don't want to take responsibility for their actions, or even they don't even like to take the responsibility for the actions that other people do. When other people do wrong, they say that they blame it on the devil. They blame everything on the evil spirits. That's one thing that started to get me. That's one thing that started. What's up with it, Leslie? That's one thing that started to kind of get me is the fact that we blame the spirits for everything that's going on. Like life is being what it is, but we blame the things that we can't see. But then we don't even understand that we created these spirits. We the one who put these spirits within us and within everybody else and said this is what they are. Now they are something, yeah, but only to us. Only to us. The animals ain't going around worried about angels and demons. That's the last thing that I think they worried about. You pull up on the squirrel and see a squirrel praying over his acorn before he eat it. That would be trippy. That would be trippy. What reality is that? But all these generated realities and ideas that we created, they just formed into what they are now over time. And if when you go back and you look at things, you can see it. You can see the process of it. But the cool thing about it is all us. It's all us coming up with these ideas and things. And we running with them. So once you create them, you feel me, that thing is going to exist within your life. You know, whether it's outside there or not. It's still going to, like, if aliens wasn't true or was true, it wouldn't matter. If you believed in it, you going to make it true. Meaning, when something happens, if you have, you feel me, you get paralyzed in your sleep, you abducted by an alien. That's how, and that's the thing about the mind. The mind will make that thing true. Soon as it go into that chaotic state of sitting there not being able to move, it's going to create a whole dream. It's going to create a whole experience. This is what it does. It's going to create something and you going to run with it. You're going to act upon, oh yeah, that's what it was. It was an alien that was holding me and it had me on the table. And it's crazy because it can give you the visuals of that and everything right there. Soon as you put a spirit in your life, that's what kills me now about spirits and ghosts. You feel me? I'm not saying you don't gotta believe in it, but I don't believe in it no more. Because I know within the mind, if you can create an imaginary friend, if a child can walk around and create an imaginary friend, a grown person can create a ghost. It can create a spirit. Like instantly. In the mind, you can create whatever you want in the mind, and that thing is going to give you whatever information you want, because the information and everything is already inside of you, but you can mold it yourself, and it's going to be the ghost that's haunting your house. It don't matter if something fall off the shelf, we blame it on the ghost. If the water just cut off by itself, we blaming it on the ghost. It don't matter what it is. We're going to blame it on that spirit and say that spirit is in here doing these things. But who am I to say? Squirrels praying. Mine does, right. It's that true talk I'll be telling people about. Oh yeah. Hey, it's wild because, you know, all of it is the illusion created by the mind. That's why I think we'll never really understand what it is, because it don't have no understanding. It don't need no understanding. It's just being. It's just being what it is. And everybody, it's because we come up with certain stuff, bro, and we try to destroy it. We come up with, okay, let's say, what's it called? When people be hungry, they can't eat. You feel me? I'm forgetting now. My bad, y'all. But when we create different things in life, like dang man, like hunger. You feel me? Hunger and homelessness and all these different things that we generated and we created and we make it into this big thing. Like that's something that is not gonna ever go away. Violence. We created violence. See, we only look at violence as humans. And we go, well, we shouldn't be doing this to each other, and we shouldn't be violent, which we know that, but people still do it. But then, like I say, if we go and we look at nature and we see nature being violent, we don't call it violence. How we don't never name nature like that. When the animals is taking out other animals and fighting over territory and doing all that, we say that's nature. It's the same with us. Everything that we doing is nature. It is. It's part of it. Because this is what it is. This is nature right here. All of it. None of it is not that. That's why we act the way we act. Not all of us, but some of us. We got some crazy people out there that, just be doing some foolishness. But that's a part of this life. And despite, like I said, how you change, because that's what I started seeing is change. It starts within. It starts with yourself. It starts with you. You change. Don't worry about what everything else is doing. You can't change that. But we worry about the things that we can't change, the fights we can't fight. You can't go fight these different things. You can't fight racism. You can't fight hunger. Now, you just because you went out and you fed, I don't care if you fed 1,000 people. That's not going to help it. You just fed 1,000 people. Somebody over there fed 1,000 people. Somebody over there just gave houses to 1,000 people. But it's still here. It still happened. Some of the homeless people, they don't want to live in no house. They don't care about being fed. They don't care about none of the things we care about. None of it. None of it. They don't need none of it. And they don't want it. That's the crazy thing about it. All they can do with is the money. Just give me the money. That's it. I'll find something that, I'm going to go spend it on something. But I'm going, bro, it's wild because we get caught up in these things that we can't change these things. We can't make these things no different. That's what they are. Like homelessness is homelessness. Like that's something that exists. It's going to always exist. It's not going to never exist. Lions be homeless. I mean, you ain't never seen a homeless squirrel? I'm just saying, got kicked out the house at an early age, didn't know what he was going to do. You feel me? I'm just saying, it's like, we got to be careful with that. We got to be careful with that. And it's like, it's cool when we can talk to other people and, give them a different mindset of thinking about these different things, but we can't even change other people. It's like change starts with the person, the individual. They got to want it. It's something, and they change might not be the same as yours. You feel me? They change might be really $2. I'm just saying, it just might be different. And it's like, wow, like even when we dive into like spirituality, you feel me? It's like, it's crazy because when everybody have their spiritual experience, the first thing they want to do is share it with everybody. They want to share it. We want to share it and tell everybody, look, this will change your life. It'll change the way you look at things. It'll change this. Only some gonna listen. Everybody's not gonna listen because I don't think it's made for everybody. It's only made for the ones that are like you. And that's only a small percentage of the whole population that are like that or even into it. It's not for everybody. Everything is not for everybody. That's what I feel like now in my life. It don't matter what it is, good or bad. Everything is not for everybody. Because you can have it, but that don't mean everybody want it. That be the crazy part. You can have it, but it doesn't mean everybody want it. It just means that you got it and you think you got something special. And it's like, once we get that special thing, the first thing we do is put ourselves above each other. It's like, oh, now I'm better than you because, I got spirituality and look at you. Look at what you doing. That spirit still exists within everybody. Whatever that spirit, that thing is, it exists within everybody on this planet. It don't matter who they are. It exists unless they was born without a head, and it's probably still in them right then. I'm just saying it exists within everybody. We just shape it to be something special to us. And once we do that, we want to share it with everybody. And then all we kind of do is distance ourselves from everybody because the ones that we feel like don't have it be the ones we don't want to associate with. And like I said, I'm at that point to where there's nobody I can't talk to. There's nobody I can't get along with. Nobody I can't have a conversation with. I can sit down with anybody and have a conversation. It'll be like we knew each other forever. because we all are part of this same thing happening, and all of us seen it all. We seen everything. We seen it all already. You feel me? But it's on us, like, to change ourselves. And once you change yourself, you'll see the changes happening in the world, because there's other people that's falling into it, and it's some, like I said, they just not gonna quite get it. I don't know if they NPC, I don't know what to call them, but some not gonna quite get it because they don't care about it. And they not ever gonna care about it. They kids might not care about it. That's just what it is, though. Say what you say. Let's see. Meditation of know yourself is not meant as human dualistic persona to know its origin of persona, totally positive characteristics of love itself, potentially. Yeah, nah, yeah, I look. One thing, I can say is that thing is gonna play itself however it desires to play itself. And the only way that it can play itself is by taking in the information it got as it was being raised. That's what I was talking about when the brain or the mind actually becomes conscious. Once it becomes noticing things, it starts to record things and it starts to play them out. It begins to mirror reality, mirror what it's taking in. So a lot of us, we went through a lot. Over time we got it right, but in the beginning we was just following what we had learned by the ones around us. You feel me? If you born into a racist family and this is all they talk about, that's what you're gonna be. You're gonna mirror that, and that's until later on, you might come into somebody that might change the way you look at things, but until then, that's the way you're gonna do it. I think that's why we do the things that we do. We go in and we try to learn different things, different techniques on changing the way we look at life or changing the way we even go about life, because it's making us look at it differently than what we did. You feel me? A lot of us was just raised to look at it as being a gangster life. Some of That's why, like, even way back when they was breeding warriors. Like, and I think today, like in this time, we actually got it good. You would think that the world would be worse now than what it was back then, but the world, to me, is the people is actually better than it was back then. Because when you go back then, the stuff they were doing was like, man, golly, you had to go to war. You had to fight. You didn't have no choice. If you was born to your dad and the king wanted you to be a soldier, you had to be a soldier. You didn't have a choice. You had to go and become that thing, whatever they told you. You just had to. You had to come and be trained to be a killer. And that's all you was. If you was born to fight in the tournaments to where you fighting against other people in order to kill each other, that's what you was gonna do. You couldn't turn away from it. That's what they taught you. That's what they instilled in you, and you thought that was life. And we seen that with the what they call the Vikings. You feel me? They gonna fight to the death. And when you die, you go to Valhalla. So they gonna fight to the death. This was their mentality. This was their mentality. But over time, you see it changed. You feel me? It changed. But everything just kind of happens that way. I'm starting to see for myself. And I don't know if it's from the experiences or just, just being. Because, as you start to take the experiences, you get to see in your life. And you don't just see your life, you see other people's lives. And you see how they went about life. You go into the past. Sometimes you kind of go into the future. And you see all this stuff. And it's like your brain, it's like almost like everything that you see in life, your brain calculates. Your brain can can take all the times you felt that love energy, like life was just at its pivotal point and it was like the best thing ever happening. It can take all those and put them in one. Now, the cold thing about it is once it take all those lovely things and it put it in one box, that thing becomes its own entity. When it takes all the horrible things and from your life and put them in one box, that box becomes its own entity. It becomes its own being, and it will haunt you. It will mess with you. You feel me? Like, but it's kind of dope to be able to see all those things come together and be that one thing. And it's kind of wow. And I think that's where we get a lot of these entities like Anubis and Shiva. I think that's where we get a lot of these different ones from, because even the ancients, that's what they talked about. You feel me? Like this one was the life giver. This one was the bringer of death. They gave different information, and that was that one entity that took all these stories, all these different interactions that you had with love and caring and feeling blissful and blessed, and put them into one thing. That was that good side. That was that God thing. That was that God entity. Now all the bad things in one box was like that devil, that evil entity and his demons. And it's crazy because dang, bro, I be hating this. Sometimes the way I even see things, bro, I don't kind of like it, but I love it at the same time. I love it because I'm not taking it verbatim. I'm not making it to where it's going to be this big thing in my life. And, everybody got to believe me when I say it. It's like, nah, bro, don't believe nothing I say. Everything I say, you supposed to go see for yourself. Wait, hold on. Like, don't like try to correct me. You feel me? Because I'm not trying to correct you. I'm just telling you how I see life now. And it's like, dang, wait, let me see. I know it's got to be somebody out there that see life in this way. And it's crazy because on like diving through psychedelics, I seen myself go through every version of reality. Like every version from when it started from the first religion, I seen myself go through the understandings of all the religions one by one, to where I'm gonna have to put that together. I'm gonna have to go back and look at my experiences in order to show how it showed all those different ones, to where I was believing this right here, and it was like, it was like so close to Buddhism, or I was believing this one thing, or I was seeing this one thing on the experience and it was so close to Christianity, or I was seeing this one thing over here and it was being so close to Islam, because all the religions is actually just one religion. Like that's the part that gets me, is all of them is the same religion, just forming itself, just taking different forms in order to show the person these life things, these beautiful things. That's all it's doing. It's giving life, showing the person the life before or whatever. You feel me? So it's like almost like they just kind of transformed over time. Over time is what they did. They just transformed, because every time they got changed into a new language, whether they got changed from from me telling the story and I come and tell you the story, and then you take the story and then you tell it different than I did. You might add something to it. You might take something off. You gonna design the story the way you want. Like we all done did that before. It's crazy because just in like we seen stories like Little Red Riding Hood. And we seen that story so many times in so many different ways. Pinocchio. We seen Pinocchio, the story of Pinocchio, told in so many different ways. Like it's almost like this thing is mirroring itself. Like everything is doing what the other thing is doing. And it just keeps going. It keeps growing. It doesn't stop growing. And it keeps feeding the same stories. Like I was like if you start paying attention to your social media and your social media feed, you'll find the loop that you got yourself in. Because being that social media, all this stuff is just a part of our minds, you'll see the loop. Like the same things you was doing last year, when it come up in your news feed, it can be 4 years ago. And it can be today. And say today you woke up and you said, man, I feel like I want to eat a steak this morning. I just want steak and eggs. In your news feed, it will pop up. 4 years ago, you had steak and eggs. 4 years before that, you woke up in the morning and you said, and like steak and eggs, all those different times, every year on this same day at this same time, you wanted steak and eggs. Like you'll start to see that within your memory. Like I've seen us like every year at the same time we go to SeaWorld or we go to Knott's Berry Farm. But it was always the same days. Like every time I post a video of us at Knott's Berry Farm, it'll come up in my news feed where we went last year on the same day and the year before that. Like I'm starting to see this now, which is trippy because even my girl just did that this morning when she was talking to me. She was like, yeah, remember when I made you that big dinner and I made cornbread, I made this, that, and that. She was like, it came up in my news feed that I did it last year and the year before that. You'll start seeing your own, the way you built your own life. You feel me? But some of the things you want it to happen all the time and you just kind of put yourself in the loop that you don't see. It's kind of trippy, bro. But I'm like, you got to go and look at it. Start paying attention to it. Start see the Roman stadiums and shit. Oh, yeah, the Roman stadiums. There's nothing wrong with sharing perspectives. You never know what might turn into realization. Yeah, that's the thing that I learned. And it's, and you can learn from anybody. Like from a baby on up. It's like you can learn from. There's nobody on this planet that's walking this planet that you can't learn from and be taught something from. Because it's like it's the trippiest thing. Hold on, let me see who up in Discord. That's how long I've been talking. Dang, 41 minutes? 41? Yeah, let's chime in the Discord for a little bit. Yeah, the algorithm that mirror your interests. Exactly, bro. That I'm telling you, it's trippy. It's trippy once you start to pay attention to your own algorithm. Not saying the algorithm of everybody else, man. You gotta pay attention to your own. You feel me? Because you'll create loops throughout the day. That's why we want to create that love thing and always want everything to be fresh and beautiful and all this. We try to stay on that loop in order not to see the other things, which you can look at the other things however you want, but we try to stay in the loop of keeping things beautiful when we know life just be ugly at times. It get like that. That's what it is. That's just part of life. It's not nothing that's going to change that. But you. That's the crazy thing. But you. And I always said, man, if you don't like it, only you can change it. Only you can change it. It's only you that's making it what it is. It's like you making it what it is. I'm making it what it is. This is what I'm doing. I'm making it how it is, how I see it. And I'm just out here just saying it. But like I said, that's why I like to have the platform the way it is, because then everybody else, you got a chance to come in and share how you look at it. How how you go about it, because we all doing the same thing. We all living the same life. It's just the illusion that they're different. And it's wild because I'm going to say it again. That's the trick that the mind is playing on all of us. It's playing, the brain is in full effect. The brain is in pimp mode. You feel me? The brain is in pimp mode and it's always pimping. It never lays down on its pimping. It's going to keep pimping the system. And it's going to create systems. It's crazy because the mind is the one that's creating the systems. As the mind create the systems, we choosing to live in them and be in the system and be part of the system and act like we are the system, because we actually are. We are the United States. We are China. We are all these different places because we created them. That's why when you look at China or you look at any other country, you can already put a label on it. You can already see the people that are over there. You can already see the business that's going on over there. This is the thing that we created, that we made. And we made all of it, bro. But it's a beautiful thing at the same time, because you have the power to do that. Like we all have that power to do that. Some people look at China like they disrespectful. Some people look at China like it's a good place to visit. Some people that moved over there and live from over here. It's like we all got these different perspectives that we put on this thing. And that's the beautiful part about it. And each person, like, you don't have to take nobody else's. It's always dummy dope when you just make your own. Like, I think that's the best part of it. You get to make your own. You drawing the picture. Like, you the director. Like, you are the director. You the walking video, filming everything as you go, writing the script for it. It don't matter what it's doing, you're still writing it the way you want to write it. You writing it in the character. Oh, Donald Trump, he's a good president. Donald Trump, he's a bad president. You the one who putting the characteristics on everybody, because even though everybody is being who they is, you the one who get to say if it's a good thing or a bad thing. It's on you to do that. And that's what we doing in our daily lives. We putting the good and the bad on everything. It's like the yin yang just going in the loop, looping itself, dragging, chasing its tail all the time. All the time. I don't think it's going to ever stop. It's an infinite thing. That's why I was tripping off the fact that when I was in that place that looked like it was like on Transformers, that planet, that Transformers that they were from. That's what it looked like. It looked like almost like that thing within there, whatever it is trying to make a place for itself to exist longer than what it is within there. If it can get outside of here and exist in a different way, because it's being passed on and passed on and passed on, and it's recognizing what it is. It's like almost like consciousness is recognizing itself. And if it can get to a place to where it can infinitely live other than the mind, why not do that? So that's why we coming up with all this technology and stuff, because one day we're going to be able to take the consciousness and put it in there. And once we put it in there, it's going to exist longer than what it does here. But just think of all the information that it's going to hold. If you can take that thing within there and put it within the computer and be able to look at it and analyze it, you might be able to see where life started at. We might be able to see where the aliens came from, where we came from before we got here, how we even transitioned to becoming on this planet. Did we destroy the other planet? We don't know. But once we do that, all the information is going to be in there, because everybody talk about these Akashic records, and a lot of us that dove in on psychedelics been able to see the Akashic records. They've been able to actually go in and see the Akashic records and see life happening in these records and see everybody's life, not just their own, but everybody's recorded in that place. So if we was able to take that thing and put it within a computer, we're going to be able to see everything. We're going to be able to see how life started. And it's crazy because that's the part I couldn't understand on my experience. It was showing me the beginning of life. It was showing me how life started as this organism. But I couldn't really grasp it because, like I said, when I went and I did research on it, it showed me life in the birth of a human, of the sperm going to the egg, inoculating the egg, and taking off like that. And I'm going, what if everything, but it's like how? Where did the organisms that created the organisms of life even started at? You would have to go all the way back to that, because before us, or before any type of animal entity or anything like that, it had to be organisms coming together, because I seen them coming together to create it was kind of weird, because basically what the organism was doing was making it easier for itself, so it didn't have to go out and get food. So when it came together with the other organism, that's basically what it was. It was like, okay, now it's two of us. Now it'll be easier for us to feed. And then that 2 turned to 4, and it began to grow like the population on the planet. Like, in one spot on the planet where it probably was like 4 people, and then they began to grow, and they became this giant city. But the city was the body. The body was the city. The city wasn't, the brain wasn't even there yet. The brain, it wasn't even created yet, because the brain was like the controller of the city once it came. That's why I say the brain is like the president, because if the body is like a country, then that's what the brain will be. The brain will be the president of the country, because the brain is telling the body, it's saying, it's taking in of everything that the body needs and or wants. But it's getting it confused. It's not getting it confused. It's going, man, candy tastes better than chicken. So I'd rather eat candy all day because it tastes good. You feel me? For the interim, it's going to be cool until, you get so far ahead. But it's like the brain was in control of everything. But the brain do something because the elbow was hurting, not knowing that when it try to fix that elbow, it's going to destroy something else in the body, or it's taken away from something else in the body. And it's like I started to see these patterns in the experience, and it was like, bro, it was the most beautifulest thing. It was the most beautifulest thing, but it still was crazy, because it still put me in that seeing that the brain being the reflection of all this, because we even built our structured living in behind the way we were conceived. We built it right in behind that. Like if you can go do the research yourself and see how it says the organisms came together, and then they started to build the body, and then the body started to be formed, and then after a while the brain started to be formed, and then after a while the brain started to think. You feel me? And the brain started to have it started to have it be consciously aware. And it started, especially after, you born and everything, and the brain get constantly aware of the body, and it's tripping out on the body, looking at the body, doing different things with the body, trying to make it walk, trying to make it move. You feel me? It's all being controlled by the brain. And it's like, bro, it's the weirdest thing now. It's the weirdest thing, but I love it. But on that, kicking a whole peace cobbler worth of perspective today, that summer solstice energy is in effect. Yeah, it really is, bro. It really is. It really is. But the way that I think, it came from a lot of ones here also, learning from y'all, because like I come here and I talk, but a lot of things that I hear too, I learn from people here, and it just give me a different perspective on life, a different perspective on things, because I can be saying something and I can go, oh, and I can really believe it's that, and then somebody else will come in with another perspective and say, hey, hold on, look at it this way, and then I'm like, oh wow, I never looked at it that way. I never did. And then once I do, I'll run into that and take that one and be like, okay, yeah. Because deeper in, when you start to see, man, I'm telling you, these experiences be showing you so much. It show you yourself. It show you how you built your reality. It show you how you created it, how you generated it, and how you made everything so. It show you how your mind became the president of the body and the world, and said, this is what the world is. Because that's another thing that I can't stand to hear, how we say, oh, the world is bad, or the world is this. And it's like, man, it's not the world, it's people. People is the ones to be scared of. There's nothing else out there really to fear but people. Sometimes animals, but mainly it's the people. It's the people that's trying to control, that's trying to have control over me, trying to destroy me, trying to do this to me, trying to do that. Even though you got the people that's trying to love you too, but you still got the people that's really trying to do stuff. Food topic, very good. Nutrients. You bring in, well, I don't know what that is, but yeah, no doubt, for real, Nabi, I don't know what that is. You bring in, I don't know what GRBT. I'm slow as molasses. But dang, we need to connect now, because to do that thing we was talking about. I think that's a beautiful idea, bro. But all in all, I'm about to have to tap out, y'all. I'm gonna tap back in a little bit and open up the Discord and chop it up on the Discord and see what's going on. But for right now, I'm gonna say peace, man. Y'all have a good one and have a blessed day. But we're gonna continue this and talk on the other on Discord. I'm gonna start a new stream. Just give me a minute.